Hello everybody and welcome to another video. We are finally back. I have been unable to upload for quite a while since my old computer decided it was going to blow itself up. I pretty much had to replace every single part of my machine, which cost a fair bit of money, which I couldn't afford all in one go, so it's taken me a while to get all things back together again. Now I will say, this is the first time I'm trying to record after my new computer, so some of the settings might not be completely correct, so some of the volumes might be a little bit off. I'm not entirely sure, but anyway, we'll move forward and see what we've got. Today we're going to be looking at a band called Away with the Seas. I'd not heard of them before. These people actually approached me a little while back, not long after my computer decided to kill itself, unfortunately, so I've had to wait a while before actually looking at this track. Little information about the band, and this is all the information I could find, and it came directly from their Facebook page. It says, Away with the Seas are a progressive metalcore band from the southeast of England that were created in 2016. Their music is intertwined with narrative concepts that explore a multitude of emotions both musically and lyrically. Having grown tired of the cliches in the genre, their debut EP explores the journey of overcoming issues with mental health, something with which they are all connected and are all rather outspoken about. Their concept narratives and unorthodox applications of other genres is the driving force behind creating memorable, emotional, nostalgic songs that will speak to your heart. So there you go. This is a band that's looking to explore emotions and talk. You know, they're readily talking about mental illnesses and stuff like that, which is something I can really appreciate. It's something I'm totally on board with. Now, we're going to be looking at a track called Through the Storm. There are lyrics here. They come from directly underneath the video on YouTube, so they should, in theory, be accurate. So, without any messing about, we'll jump into the song, see what we've got, and hopefully all the properties and volumes of this video are going to be okay. So anyway, we'll jump into the song. So Away with the Seas, Through the Storm. Let's have a look. Bit of an eerie start to the song.
Say How would you find the truth? In your heart, you haven't given up. Swim on, find your purpose. You are the author.
Well, there you go. That was Through the Storm by Away with the Seas. Now, I'm not generally a big fan of metalcore. You know, there are some that I like, some that I enjoy, but I always find it very much of a sameness when, you know, all these different metalcore bands tend to sound the same, but this band has something about it that makes it slightly different, and it's something in the music. And I can't quite place my finger on what it is. But it's a very, very interesting song. It starts off with that sort of weird, sort of creepy, almost ethereal sort of intro to the song before dropping into this really heavy track. And as I said at the beginning, you know, they're talking about, you know, emotions, mental health, that sort of thing in their songs. And that comes through definitely in this song, with the title being Through the Storm. It sort of suggests, you know, like going through the roughest of times and coming out on the other side, sort of weathering the storm to come out on the other side, essentially. That's what it seems to be. Although this track seems to have more of a sort of downward feel to it, rather than like coming out of it positive. This seems to be talking about depression and the fact that it doesn't just go away, maybe. And the fact that, you know, the person in this song has been screwed over by someone. And, you know, they're feeling it very, very deeply, and they're struggling to overcome this, and they know that once, you know, even though if they get through the storm, there's still hard times ahead beyond that, and, you know, they might be struggling to deal with it. So the lyrics go: I will summon a storm to leave my mark, bleeding the sea as I leave. I have no reason to live, I've been lied to, deceived. So just within the first 6 lines there, you know, I will summon the storm to leave my mark. So, you know, I'll make it through this just so, you know, I can show that I can do it. So people will realise that I am this strong. But he goes on to say, I have no reason to live, I have been lied to, deceived. So even though he can get through this, he doesn't see any purpose to it, because, you know, the people that he trusted, people that he thought like loved him or cared for him, have essentially lied to him and essentially left him with nothing. So, you know, whilst he can fight through this and come out the other side, what is the point if he has nothing to look forward to? It carries on. I'm bound to drown in this, this entity. You can keep your empty promises, for this is how I die, alone on a wide, wide sea, ascending from the chains of gravity. I can't see a future here for me. Again, sort of looking forward, saying, you know, like, whilst I can fight through this, I don't see the point in it. You know, I'm strong enough to overcome this, but I just don't see the point in doing that, because there is nothing left. You know, you've essentially stripped me of everything that I cared about. You stripped me of trust. You've stripped me of my friends. You know, everything that I really cared for. You know, it's all gone now, so I don't really see the point in carrying on. I'm sick of this. I hope you suffer the way I did. I'm rotting in the shadows. You ripped my soul out. You left me for dead on the sand. Now I've been swallowed by the tides. So again, you know, I'm sick of this. You know, I'm fed up of this. I'm fed up of being treated this way. And I hope one day, you know, someone does to you what you've done to me. I hope one day you will suffer the way that I have. You know, what you've done to me. is horrible and it's cruel, and I hope someday you actually feel what it's like to be in my position, so you know the depth of your betrayal, you know how much you have hurt me. You know, I want you to feel that, so you can get some concept of what you have done. Anyway, carries on. Gatherer, seek your home, search for guidance, but don't lose hope. Hear my cries and heal my heart. It's taking every breath I have. I pray no one rescues me. I'm hollow and weak. Withered, dry as dust. And again, it seems like maybe he's talking to someone else. That Gatherer, seek your home. You know, search for guidance, but don't lose hope. Hear my cries and heal my heart. It's taking every breath I have. I pray no one rescues me. I'm hollow and weak. You know, so it sounds like he's saying to other people, you know, search for guidance, don't lose hope. You know, because you can fight through this. You will get over it. Eventually, you know, there is a way through it. You know, no matter how bleak things become, there is always a way through to the other side. So don't give up. But he's saying, you know, I'm trying so hard, but it's taking all the energy I have, and I hope no one rescues me, because, you know, I've lost all hope. You know, I can't see any good on the other side of this. So, you know, it's a pretty strong and rather depressing song in its own way, but I like the way that it's talking about it. Anyway, it goes back into, I'm sick of this, I hope you suffer the way I did, I'm rotting in the shadows. You ripped my soul out and left me for dead on the sand, now I've been swallowed by the tides. Through the storm I leave my mark, bleeding the seas as I leave, I have no reason to live, I've been lied to, deceived. So it goes back to the opening 6 lines of the track. And then it goes, you, so-called God, you'd let me die like this. You'd welcome me to hell with open arms. Take your beliefs and ram them down your throat. I'd rather die a sinner than fight to stay afloat. I fade away. And then at the end of the song, there was that sort of heavily distorted spoken word. I couldn't quite make out what it was saying. But, you know, just that last bit there, you so-called God, you'd let me die like this, you'd welcome me to hell with open arms. So it's basically like, you know, God is supposed to love every human being, but, you know, if you're so loving to everybody, why are you letting me suffer like this? You know, why are you allowing this pain, this agony upon me? You know, if you're like the epitome of all love, you know, why have you forsaken me? You know, what's so different about me that I shouldn't be allowed to feel this joy, this love that everybody claims that you know, throw out the world? And he goes, take your beliefs and ram them down your throat. I'd rather die a sinner than fight to stay afloat. So it's like, you know, you can take all your religious bullshit, you know, and, you know, just stuff it, because I shouldn't have to work that hard to have a happy life, you know. I'd rather live my life the way I want to. I'd rather die a sinner in the eyes of God, essentially, than have to, you know, follow so many strict rules that say whether I'm a good person or not. You know, it's all absolute rubbish. You know, so I like the way the song's written. I like the wording of the song. Like I said, not typically a big fan of metalcore, but, you know, there was something about this band that I actually quite liked. And it was very well performed. Very well performed. Again, mixture of vocal styles, which is something I've said on countless occasions that I really, really enjoy. So, you know, they've got that going there as well. So overall, you know, it was a pretty decent track. And I'll be interested to see what they come out with in the future. As you might have seen from the video clip there, their EP was called The Odyssey, I believe. I'm not entirely sure when it comes out. But yeah, I'll be interested to see what else they come up with in future, and see what other things they explore through this journey of like emotions and mental health and stuff like that. I'm very interested in that. You know, to see where they go with it. So yeah, pretty decent. But I can't really think of much else to say on that. So I'll leave that as it is. Now, if anybody would like to suggest a track for me to react to, then please do so. By all means, drop a comment in the comment section below, or message me on my Facebook or my Instagram, or even message me. You can even message me through my Patreon, where you could also help to support this channel, which would be a great help to me. There is an option in Patreon where you can get your suggestion jumped to the front of the queue, should you so desire. There are a couple of limitations on that, though, to be fair to people who suggest tracks through regular means, such as through Facebook and Instagram messages. And if you do suggest a track through those regular means, do know it might take me a while to get around to your suggestions, since I do get suggested so many tracks. I've got a huge list to catch up with over this period of time that my computer has been out of action, so it might take me a while to get around to your suggestion. Also, Metalhead Reacts is a proud supporter of the Sophie Lancaster Foundation, a British-based charity whose main goal is to put an end to hate crimes, mainly those involving people of the alternative culture. But they want to put an end to all hate crimes, essentially. But their main focus is these attacks on people of the alternative community, and it's a very real problem. It's something that doesn't get talked about nearly as much as it needs to. Every day we hear about all these other sort of hate crimes like sexism, racism, homophobia, transphobia, religious hatred. We hear these things on a daily basis. From the most heinous and violent of these crimes, where someone is murdered because of the colour of their skin or because of their religious beliefs, down to the most pathetic of these crimes, where some entitled white woman is calling the police because a family of colour are having a picnic in a public area. We hear these all the time, but we never hear anything about these people from the alternative culture who are getting violently attacked just purely because of the way they dress and their taste in music. And it's something that happens all the time. It's been going on for decades. And we never hear anything about it. The last time there was any widespread media coverage of anything like this happening was about 13 years ago, when Sophie Lancaster and her boyfriend Rob Maltby were violently attacked by a group of 5 or 6 people and beaten so severely that they both ended up in comas. Now, Rob Maltby, he did thankfully survive. He was in a coma for about a week or so. I can't remember exactly how long. But Sophie Lancaster, she was 21 years old at the time. She was beaten so severely that she was in a coma for 13 days before she succumbed to her injuries and she died. This young woman was beaten to death. She was murdered just purely for the fact that she was dressed like a goth and listened to heavy metal music. That was the only reason for it. And these sort of attacks happen all the time. Sometimes, people are getting hospitalised with broken bones and sometimes even more life-threatening invasive injuries. People are getting stabbed just because of their taste in music, and it is absolutely insane, because whilst all of this is happening, nothing is getting said, and that needs to change. We can't allow this to keep going on. And this is what the Sophie Lancaster Foundation is all about. They want to bring more attention to the fact that this is happening. The fact that there are people, literally fearing for their lives just because they listen to heavy metal music. Why is it such a trigger point for people? I mean, you don't attack someone because they like different films to you. You don't attack people because they like different TV shows to you. You don't attack someone because they like different books or magazines to you. So why would you attack someone because they like different music? It makes no sense. But it is a very real problem, and it's something, we need to put a stop to it, because we can't allow what happened to Sophie Lancaster to ever happen again. This attack on Sophie Lancaster, like I said, it happened about 13 years ago. And that's the last time we really heard anything about it. But I guarantee you, in fact, I know for a fact, since that happened, there have been similar attacks that have happened, but nothing has ever been said about them. There's not been anything in the news about these people that have been violently attacked, because no one's died. And it shouldn't take the death of someone for this to get spoken about. We shouldn't have to wait for someone to lose their life before we actually take notice of the fact that this is happening. it's a very real problem, and you know, something I think that really needs to be addressed. So if you'd like to find out more about the Sophie Lancaster Foundation, there is a link to their website in the description below. You can pop over there, find out what they're working on at the moment, find out what their main goal is, because they can explain it a lot better than I can. And if you can help them in any way, obviously you don't feel obligated to do so, but if you can help them out in any way, whether it's something as simple as making a small donation through their website, or something as simple as one of these Sophie wristbands from their web store, the smallest amount can make the biggest difference. And the sooner we bring more attention to this, the sooner we get more people talking about this, the sooner we can help to stamp out prejudice, hatred and intolerance everywhere. But I'm going to leave that as it is for the time being. Thank you all very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Bye bye.
I'm sick of this, I hope you suffer the